sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's talk a little bit more about Carlee Russell, shall we? So it appears that over the weekend, specifically this past Sunday, she had about a dozen calls at her house. This being her birthday weekend. Said she was 26 years old. And everyone's pretending like they don't know why there was a bunch of cars there, and all it drew the attention of the police. Everybody know, like I said, it's a birthday, and you know when there is a tragic story, maybe a story of celebration, even stories of heartache, people be nosy, man. More people come around than they normally have. I'm quite sure she ain't never had a birthday party where it was this many people came to her house. Quite sure, unless she was like a little kid. But now there's controversy surrounding this young lady, and everybody wants to know the scoop. Probably not bold enough to ask any questions, but I just take it, hey, just family being nosy, want to know what's going on. And it's quite possibly now she could be just setting herself up to go and talk to the police this week, and may be afraid that she's going to be arrested and charged. So, you want to have one last party, one last going away party. I mean, those are just two possibilities. But anyway, let's get into the story, because, it's more details that comes out, the more intriguing this story is. Look, it says Carlee Russell's Alabama's home, was her parents' home, is swarmed by visitors on her 26th birthday as cops dig into the kidnap claims, and says $63,000 reward cash will not be returned to donors. Now you see they got "not" in capital letters, but it's not that serious. I mean, it's just really protocol, from what I see. It says cars were seen lining up outside Carlee Russell's Alabama home on Sunday, just a day after her 26th birthday. There was no official word on why all the cars were at the home of the woman who had become a central player in a missing persons case that had captivated the nation. A dozen cars lined the driveway and around the home and drew the attention of police in Hoover, Alabama, who drove past the home as people entered and left. See, police said Russell delayed additional requests to interview her again about her supposed July 13th disappearance. Russell vanished after calling 911 to report a toddler wandering along the Alabama highway. We all know this story, but it's interesting that she's not mentally stable enough to talk to the police, yet she's stable enough to have a doggone party. It say, sparked a hunt for that lasted 39 hours. The authorities say they have not found any evidence to corroborate the woman's claims and are now investigating her story. As you can see here, they lived in a well-to-do neighborhood. Her family has some money. Okay, nothing ghetto about her, nothing po about her, nothing, whatever. Low income. She seems to have had all the luxuries in life to, stable family in a nice neighborhood. I think out in these parts, house like that, run you, I'd say at least a meal, give or take. But that's here in Texas. I don't know how much the house would cost in Alabama. Maybe a little less. I think the cost of living is a little less, but still, it doesn't take away from, like I said, the neighborhood they're living in. You see this young lady here walking out. Now this is a picture of Carlee Russell. Now, I'm trying to figure out when this picture was taken, because you see the red Benz there, because look at her in this picture, or what kind of camera was used to take this picture, because look at her in this picture, then look at her in this picture. Look like two different people. But this is what me and be meaning when we hear women say they want a real man. Gotta be real. Don't know what real means, but it gotta be real. But yet, you can take two different pictures, and one maybe she may have lost some weight, another picture maybe she may have gained some weight, whatever. But that has nothing to do with the way her face looks. I mean, it could be, you know, a little puffier or slimmer, depending on which picture you're looking at. But like I say, you look at that picture, that face, and then you look at that face. Like I say, it look like two totally different people. It's the makeup, man. It's the sorcery. That's what confuses us. It's like y'all want real, but yet y'all come at us looking like totally different people every time we see you. And that's not being honest. That's not being real. You're not holding yourself accountable as you are trying to hold us accountable. Again, you see a picture there of the house, like I say, a little bit of the neighborhood. Continue with the story. Said Russell had claimed she left work about 8:20 and then picked up some food for her and her mom. Not saying anything about her going to Target. Not mentioning that she got some snacks at Target. Not mentioning that she stole a robe and some toilet paper from a job, which she subsequently has been fired from. So she traveled towards Hoover, called 911 about 9:30. And then what's weird, you know, she called her sister-in-law. I thought that was weird. Now, from the jump, I thought this story was weird because when I first heard it, and it said she was kidnapped, and I mentioned this in my previous video, I'm thinking must be like, and she saw a little baby. I'm thinking it must be like a 2-lane highway in, you know, rural Alabama, because I live off a 2-way highway where I live. But then when I saw the video, and you saw that it was a freaking 6 or 8-lane highway, major highway, I'm like, ain't no way in the world. And then you never saw the baby, because let her tell the baby was walking down the side of the road. So I'm like, this heifer line. But anyway, you know, neither here nor there. But there are people you have those who have questioned law enforcement and said, if it was a black woman, it wouldn't have garner national attention. Then they turn around and say it garner national attention because first then they say, you know, finally they're taking a black woman serious. Then people say, it garnered national attention because they knew it was a hoax, and so they wanted to make black women look bad. Whatever the point, whatever the case, I myself think the only reason why it garnered whatever national attention is because she says a little white baby walking down the street. That's the main thing. Forget about her. Forget about anything else. There was a 3-year-old white toddler walking down the side of the highway. That's the only reason why I think that it jumped off the way it did. But then, like I said, as time went on, and all the news outlets got a hold of it, they were just trying to catch up to what the police and a lot of us already knew, that this heifer was lying. But anyway, they say, but she called her sister-in-law. And that was kind of weird to me because, like, why wouldn't you call your mom, or why would you get off the phone with 911? Why wouldn't you call your parents and say, hey, it's a little white baby sitting on the side of the road? But you know what? Sometimes facts are stranger than fiction, because I will tell you a story. Let me see how I want to phrase this, because this is an old story. This has probably happened before my time or when I was a little baby. But I was told a story about a guy who was living in the city, broke up with him and his girlfriend. I don't know if they was married or girlfriend, whatever. They was, breaking up, middle of the breakup. She was gone. He was at the house by himself. And this little Hispanic boy, come to his house. And don't know all the details, but he fed this boy, let the boy spend the night, boy leave, come back. Now we talking about 70s when, kids probably leave, go spend at a friend's house, call your mama, everything is cool, blah, blah, blah. He said, then next thing you know, the boy come back. He say same thing, fed him, this, that, and the third. Let him stay for a little while, but then he's like, look, we can go find your parents. Say he hit the neighborhood. Nobody wanted the little boy. Nobody claimed the little boy is missing. So he ended up calling his parents and actually volunteered them to, he said he was going to bring the little boy to them so they can raise the boy. They can keep the boy. And they was like, no, you don't do that. You need to call the police and have them come pick him up and let them take care of him. So when I heard the story, I was like, man, is this true? And it was like, yeah, that's a true story. So yeah, sometimes facts are stranger than fiction. So even though logic would say that we all knew that this woman was lying, hey, quite possibly could have been true. But the problem is, when you saw the video, that's when you knew that wasn't nothing true about this story. Like I said, she called her sister-in-law. I'm surprised she didn't call her mama or her dad. That was another red flag. Responding officers located Russell's car along with her cell phone, a purse, wig. We know that part. That car. Let's see. This car. So that's why I'm thinking she called at 911, because she had already planned on dumping this car. Well, leaving it on the side of the road. But she ain't want nobody stealing it. So I guess she thought, I called 911, say it's a little white baby on the side of the road, and then I can take off running. They'll be here pretty quick before somebody can steal my car. Because it doesn't make sense to put all these people into this story. I don't care what you Google. You can Google everything, look it up, get all the information you can. In the end, common sense should have said, not condoning this behavior, not at all. But common sense would have been like, you could have just easily just pulled, you could have easily just left your job and just drove somewhere and didn't come back. But I think she just planned on leaving, for a couple of days, but it'd have been less, let's say like this. She could have got away with more if she just would have just left. Like, you got little kids around here all the time, Amber Alerts being called on them, and then a couple of days later they're found because they leave and don't tell anybody where they're going. They don't tell their parents. Their friends be knowing, tell their parents where they're going. Run off with some dude, staying at his house for the weekend because, their parents don't condone that guy that she's with, because he's probably 20 years older than she is. He's just an old pervert. But they leave, then come back, and, they'll deal with the consequences later for whatever reason. But this here, like I said, that way you ain't got to involve, won't become a national story. Amber Alert be put out, come back, Amber Alert lifted because the person is found. Now we're doing investigations, and let that be the reason. She did some 13-year-old crap. But yeah, this car is what she didn't want to lose that car, because she planned on coming back. Let's say, talk about the witness saw a great vehicle. It's just somebody sometimes, people give wrong evidence. They just see the wrong thing. This after reappearing at her parents' house 2 days later. Carlee told detectives she was abducted by a man with orange hair, I guess a leprechaun. That's probably who she saw walking, was a leprechaun. And he turned around and grew big and just snatched and took off running through the woods. That's the only thing I can think of. Then she was able to escape. They say that the nursing students now say to be cooperating with authorities, but they found no proof that a toddler was on the side of the road. I mean, that's just political. That's just a legal way they got to tell it, That has led to some to accuse her of faking the entire ordeal. Some, she mean like 99.9% of the world. And there goes some more people leaving the house. The police leaving, probably laughing, saying, "Ooh, this girl, we're gonna get this girl." There goes some dude dressed with that Florida Marlins colors. They still wear that. More people leaving the house. Here's a screenshot of what happened that night. Right? So they left work, went to Target, left the car, called the people, left the car on the side of the road, and then at Saturday night, came back home. Authorities said on Sunday that the more than 63,000 raised in a 2-day search for Russell would not be returned. Crime Stoppers initially said the money would be returned to donors when Russell showed up at the parents' house. Now they are backtracking because the investigation is still ongoing. So that's basically why the money ain't been returned. So You know, no need for everybody to get all upset and say, oh man, that's wrong because she's lied and this blank and the blank did this and the third. No, it's just going through what you call it protocol. You gotta do it right. You know, can't, you know, send the money back, you know, in fear of maybe legal problems, legal issues that they may come across. And especially like for in the future, if something happened and somebody's accused of lying and then they take the money back, then they send all the money back, then all of a sudden something comes out and you find out they tell the truth. And then it's like, how you gonna get the money back? Or, you know, insurance, like insurance claims. People file claims all the time. Most times they don't just send a check straight out. They gotta do an investigation, looking over the scene, talk to witnesses, and then they'll see if the person really is dead or not before they pay. I mean, that's just how it goes. It ain't nothing to really get excited about. This is investigation still ongoing. There's no basis to refund any contribution at this time because, like you said, it's still ongoing. It's the police hadn't requested for the money to be sent back. It said other payments may be refunded. That's probably like the GoFundMe's and stuff like that. That's probably that'll be returned. It says it's not clear how much money was returned. You see Carlee and her sorority colors. That's probably why the Secret Service got involved, because, you know, your girl in pearls, Chucks and pearls, whatever, the fake black vice president that we have is part of that same sorority. I don't know which one it is and don't really care. There you go. You see a picture of her of that night, and, you know, car rolling up. Like I said, ain't a baby in sight, ain't no high beams on, nothing. Just her cruising down the street lying to people. Now, I say Russell's boyfriend, Latrell Simmons, who initially took to Facebook to ask for help searching for the missing woman, appears to have distanced himself from his beloved after a Hoover Police Department press conference on July 19, 2 days after the Crime Stoppers announcement. Tomar scrubbed all mention of Carlee from his Instagram and Facebook accounts. You had to. I'm sure her parents would have done the same thing if they could. But you got people online saying they can't believe how black men are reacting to this and they just love to hate black women, blah, blah, blah. Man, I don't care who this was. First of all, it's not going to be too many guys who will do something like this. I don't know too many guys who have fake kidnappings, faked runaways, running away, you know, fake being, you know, the R word, none of that. Most of the time, it's a female who does this, get emotionally charged for some reason and come with these elaborate plans. You know what dudes playing? They're playing bank robberies. You know what I'm saying? They're playing stuff like that. They're playing, like, you know, guys' trips to Florida or something like that, lying to their wife about. Now, don't get me wrong, I have seen, you know, stories on them on TV where a guy fake crashing the plane, but guys like that mess around and move to a whole nother country, leaving their family and everybody behind. Not, well, I'm gonna fake this whole death and then come back 2 days later and surprise, here I am. Nah, not normally. It says he has not only deleted his post about her disappearance, but has also erased every photo of her and them together. So they pretty much broke up. He like, man, I ain't dealing with this. This is bullcorn. Probably could be due to that rumor that was out there that she went out there and was dealing with some young boy that her family and friends knew about, and they didn't approve of it. And she got to get her little weekend, you know, a little weekend getaway with him. That's probably why she bought the snacks. I mean, when I say little boys, like they say he's like 17, 18 years old. So that's probably why they want snacks. But she didn't go to Walmart. Like I said, she's well-to-do. She went to Target and got some good snacks. It said on Saturday, Simmons pleaded for people to stop bullying the nursing student. Now, she's a nursing student, but got a bachelor's degree in something. Now, hold on. I want to scroll down. I'm trying to look for something. Mental health. Yeah. Mental health. Who cares? As for the rest of her family, including a sister-in-law who claimed Russell called her while she was going after the unattended child, They appeared to swallow her story and repeat it on Today's Show on Monday after Carlee reappeared at their house with a busted lip. Another picture of Carlee on the program. Her parents recall how they found Harris in a bad state. Quote, she fought for her life. Her father, Carlos, a VP of underwriting at BBVA Bank. So yeah, they make some money. So like I say, she's from a well-to-do family, which is good. Said also alleging she escaped her captors. But cops have revealed that Russell researched the Liam Neeson movie Taken and whether she was too old for an Amber Alert, plus searching for a one-way bus ticket to Nashville. As the Sunday police probe into the circumstances of her disappearance was still ongoing. Now, you see, let's get to this here. Say, filing a false police report in Alabama is a Class A misdemeanor with a penalty of up to 1 year in prison and fine of $6,000. So she'll be charged. That's gonna go without saying. Whether she talked to the police or not, because they said they can't make her say anything, but she'll be charged because once the evidence come out that there is no evidence, they're gonna charge her. She already lost her job, probably gonna get booted from school if not already. And as the question is, that's always brought up, is was it worth it? Was it worth it? They try to say, they want to say she had a mental problem. Hell, everybody got a mental problem some way, shape, or form, but hers ain't that serious. She planned this whole thing. Now the question is why. We'll probably never understand. We'll probably never get the real reason why unless the streets are talking. But the law enforcement ain't gonna say nothing. Parents ain't gonna say nothing. You know, it's funny that the mom, when they called 911, when she got there, they said that, they called 911, and when she got, the mom said that, she was unconscious. She couldn't talk. She was, breathing and everything, but was out of it. Hell, I wonder if the mama didn't just slap the piss out of her and knocked her out and then call 911, because you know how your mama will say. I'm quite sure all y'all mama said the same thing my mama probably said back in the day. That they said they're gonna knock the fire out of you if you keep it up. Oh yeah, she probably knocked the fire out of it. But I'm just saying. Anyway, man, tell me what y'all think of this story. This is gonna be, I want to know all the details of this. Now it's out there in the world. I want to know everything. I want to know the backstory, or like why she did it, what was her plans, and everything else in between. But anyway, tell me what you think about the story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I will see you on the other side.